Lloyd Doggett.
Thank you so much. What is at stake here is simply a sneak attack to deny health care to millions of Americans. To those who said previously, read the bill, we can simply say we have no bill to read. Like a document about Vladimir Putin or ISIS, this is in a secure, undisclosed location. Apparently, it was briefly in a Capitol room H-154 under police guard, but they've added security and played hide and seek with us. I would direct your attention to a letter that under the leadership of Mr. Neal, every member of the Democratic Caucus on Ways and Means submitted to Mr. Brady this morning. It makes a number of really important points about the history of healthcare reform in this country and the request we are making. I would also direct you to the colloquy that Mr. Hoyer had a few minutes ago on the floor with Mr. McCarthy, because it's truly incredible. We have asked, bring forward one witness at least to explain your plan. They refuse to do that. They say, as Mr. McCarthy did, well, we've been passing repeal measures for 6 years and we had witnesses come on that. But we do not know to this day, other than through various leaks, what their bill is, and they refuse to conduct any hearings. They have never had a hearing, none this year, of course, but never had a hearing to explain the terms of their plan. The second thing we have said is, don't consider a bill in our committee if you don't know what it costs. There are major changes here that will impose new taxes on middle-class families. We ought to have the estimates of the Joint Committee on Taxation, which regularly reports to our committee, from the Congressional Budget Office to know what the cost is. And it's unprecedented almost to have committee action on a bill of this sort without that kind of fiscal responsibility. And then very importantly, we just heard President Trump this week describe a health care plan that if he can do that, I believe all of us will vote for it. Better health care, less expensive for everybody. That's the standard by which we must measure this secret document that they have. And so we have asked in this letter quite simply, ask President Trump to designate somebody from the administration to come so that we can evaluate, does this bill match up to his standards? No, instead what I think we have here is fear, fantasy, and fanaticism. This is the way democracy crumbles, when the public and even Republican members are excluded from genuine participation in a matter of such very great significance. And when I refer to fear, fantasy, and fanaticism, the fear is what is causing them to demand a snap decision. We're looking at coming back here on Tuesday night and the next morning only getting the bill perhaps on Tuesday, an extensive bill, to be called on to vote on it. While it is a reconciliation bill, as your question indicated, the little guidance we have is a leaked draft from February. It includes major changes. I serve on the tax policy subcommittee. Major changes in tax policy to shift the burden so that the 400 wealthiest families in this country get a huge $7 million tax break, while middle-class families see their taxes going up. We need somebody to come in. That's never been discussed in our committee, to answer questions about that. And then on the fantasy, that goes to your question about, do we want to work together? As I said originally, if President Trump can deliver on what I think is fantasy, but what he calls insurance for everyone that is better and cheaper, let's get somebody from his administration over here to explain it, and we could all vote for it. And then there's the matter of fanaticism. They're relying on 6 years of just say no, of rejecting time and time again, not allowing the slightest improvement in this bill. And those are the hearings they want to rely on. They're afraid to have any hearing this time where experts are asked questions, and all of it to be done with their own members not knowing what this bill costs, how much it adds to the deficit, and what the impact is on taxes. No reports from either the Joint Committee on Taxation or the Congressional Budget Office. That's where we're headed on Wednesday.